Hi, I'm firearms attorney Gilbert Ambler, and today we're going to talk about what should happen if one of your loved ones witnesses you involved in a critical incident self-defense style shooting. Because everybody should know at this point, anybody who watches this channel, anybody who pays attention to self-defense in general knows if you're involved in a self-defense situation, you shouldn't be making statements to the police about what just happened, and you should be asking for a lawyer. But what should your loved ones be saying? Before we dive into this subject, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, go ahead, hit subscribe for us, like, comment with your thoughts, and share with your friends. That way you and your friends can keep getting this important Second Amendment related content. All right, now everybody here understands the importance of lawyering up and shutting up in the aftermath of a self-defense incident, because what you say, and you get these warnings at some point, can and will be used against you. Of course, you know my perspective. Don't wait for the warnings. Don't wait for Miranda. Go ahead and affirmatively invoke your rights. Tell the police, I don't want to make any other statements until I have a lawyer, or I don't want to make any statements, period, until I have a lawyer in the aftermath of a self-defense shooting. But what about your spouse? What if your wife or your husband saw this shooting, or another loved one, and the police want to talk to that person? A couple of points on this. Presumably, that person will want to say things that help you. And for that reason, the police, once they realize there's a connection, hey, these two people are married, they might not take their version super seriously if it's a helpful version. But they could also say something harmful, even if they don't realize that they're saying something harmful, right? They might give the police a tidbit that the police are able to twist and use against you. And so for that reason, many folks say, well, I think the safe thing to do is not have my loved one say anything to the police either. But of course, the police are going to be pressuring that loved one. They're going to separate the two of you, and they're going to try to get your loved one to talk to them. So how does your loved one avoid telling what they know to the police in that moment? Well, the answer is your loved one also has an absolute right to counsel. They can tell the police they also want to talk to a lawyer before they make statements to the police. Here's where this gets really interesting, however, because if they start talking, if your loved one starts talking to the police after this incident, and you're sitting there silently, having invoked your rights, and you see them talking to the police, and you yell over to them, hey, ask for a lawyer, don't talk to the police. The problem is, what you are doing there is obstructing justice. And I would fully expect you to get charged with obstructing justice if you instruct other people not to make statements to the police in that situation. So what should you be doing? You should be thinking about this ahead of time, okay? Talk to your loved ones. Talk to your spouse. If your spouse is around you, make sure that they understand all of the reasons on why you don't want them making statements to the police. Because in the aftermath of a critical incident, even if they weren't the ones involved, even if they didn't pull the trigger and they simply watched you defend them, they still are likely going to have all of the effects taking place internally. So the shock, the adrenaline, the thought processes, the poor recollection, the poor logic, because your logic's interrupted by everything that just took place. This is not an ideal time to try to explain something. And if they mess up that original explanation the night that this all happened, and then down the road at trial want to testify in your favor, and at trial they say something different than what they said the night this all took place, you better believe that the prosecutor is going to call that out. So the better option might be for them to also ask for a lawyer. Are the police going to look at them suspiciously? Possibly. The police might not understand why they're doing that, but they have the right to do it. And because they have the right to do it, I think it's wise for them to do that. But it's important you have to have this conversation before the incident itself takes place. Because if you have this conversation after the incident takes place and somebody realizes that you had it after the incident took place, we're worried about that obstruction charge. If you enjoyed this content, hit that subscribe button for us. Until next time.